The Newcastle Knights were firing red hot last week against the West Tigers, and I don't expect anything different from them this week when they face a Sea Eagles side who are still without their star fullback, without their star prop now as well, with adding Fanua Blake. Matty Tapau, although he is named, will be racing the clock to get his HIA assessments done. Because it's 7-day turnaround as per protocol. So it will be a case of Tapau will be a last-minute inclusion if he does play at all, although named in the 10. Paseka comes into the 8 shirt to replace Fanua Blake. And Olakar R2, I hope I've got his name right there. I apologise if I haven't. That's not in my native tongue, unfortunately. But the Sea Eagles are going to be doing it tough, although worth noting that they do welcome back Brad Parker into the centres. The Knights unchanged from the team that ran out last week, with the exception of Daniel Saifiti back into the squad. That bumps Jacob Saifiti to the bench, and that Knights pack is absolutely terrifying.
8, 9, 10, 11, 13, yes. If you said Guerra from 3 years ago when he was at the Roosters, I'd also say yes. You can make a very strong argument for Clemmer, the Saifiti twins, and SASA being one of, if not the strongest forward pack rotation in the competition. It's a huge in for the Knights to get Dan Saifiti back. But with that being said, Jacob Saifiti has been lights out for the Knights in the absence of his brother. So to have Jacob coming on after about 20 minutes for Dan, when you're going to have the likes of Tapau and Paseka starting to tire, it's going to be very, very daunting for Manly fans. Cade Cust, I thought played superbly last week. Tell you what, I'm not going with him on the anytime try scorer this week, but he got close a couple of times. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does get over this week. Manly, as you say, bringing back Brad Parker. I never thought, if you asked me 12 months ago if I thought Brad Parker in the 17 would be a welcome relief for any side, I would have laughed at you. But he's been fantastic this year for Manly. It does push Tavita Funa out of the side. Yeah, look, I think, again, this one is going to be a little bit closer than some would suggest. Manly are the $3 outsiders. I think they probably get into about 280 by kickoff. In terms of a tip, it's a bit tough, this one. I think that Kalen Ponga at even money for anytime try scorer is a very good shout. After last week's performance, I think that they'll have realised what they have to do to get him involved, playing off the back of Blakey Green, who's very much the control half now. So Ponga at $2, can't argue with that. You know what? Screw it. Cade Cust, I think he will scoot through. I think he played well last week. He kind of plays and reminds me a little bit of Dylan Walker, in terms of, it takes a little bit to get into it, but once he gets into it, he is flying out of the blocks. Cust at $5 is some cheeky value, as is Daly Cherry Evans, if you do want to go one or the other. In terms of any other tips, 4 out of the last 5 games have gone under 36 between the two. Granted, Manly's defense has been a little turnstile-esque this year. So it does make choosing one or the other a little tougher. The point, is at 39.5. I won't touch that. I will go Newcastle on the 7.5 line.
Okay then. You see, I go the opposite on that. I say that goes for under. I think that based on how Newcastle played last week, the Sea Eagles spend a lot of time this week working on their defence, making sure that they're shutting down Ponga out the back, who, to be honest, had it way too easy. They made Ponga look like a $2 million player rather than a $1 million. Just the way that he was able just to pop up on the inside, and there was you could have driven a bus through some of those gaps. without scraping a player. So it's just, I think the Sea Eagles come out this week. They come out more defensively minded. I do back the under 39.5, and I do think that the Knights win this. And I think that Daniel Saifiti gets over. I think he wants to wake up for a little bit of lost time here. He was in. He's had a few tries this season. He's not usually a try scorer, but I see Daniel coming back, making some big runs up the middle, making up for lost time, and even bagging himself one there as well. Because I think the Sea Eagles on the edges. I mean, the Knights got a few on their edges last week, but I can see that they're looking to utilise that star-packed forward pack and just get them rumbling through the middle. And I think that Saifiti in a hit-up goes through and grounds that ball. So I'm going to go with that and the under 39.5 as well, just because I think that both of these teams are still in and around the base of the 8. They've both got a bit of a point to prove. They're both trying desperately with that chasing pack closing now to hang on to that spot, those bottom parts of the 8 spots. So I think that this one's tight, and I think that the Knights edge it with a Daniel Saifiti try, but it's under 39.5.
14.25 for you, Mr. Matthew. If you go the under in DSAF, 17.50. If you add the Knights to it, I'll point this one out to you. I don't think it'll sway how you go with this, but currently the Sea Eagles are a game outside the 8 with a minus 48 points differential. If I can do the math, and Lord knows I can't do that, it's about a 96 point differential between them and the 8th place Sharks. The Sharks and the Bunnies, we both have, I have the Bunnies, you have the Cowboys. But if both of those win this week and the Knights win as well, there is a strong possibility that the 8 will be set in stone with 5 rounds to go. So I don't know if that changes it, but I think the Sea Eagles have a lot to play for, knowing that if they lose this one, there is a distinct possibility that they're 2 games out of the 8 with a points differential that is not screaming finals football either.
Yeah, I'm still going to back that under just because I think it's going to be tight. I think that it's going to be something like an 18-16, something like that. It's, earlier in the year, obviously, the Sea Eagles, we've seen that they can get their get square when they felt robbed. Bradman Best with the push in the back earlier in the year. The Sea Eagles want their get square there. So I think they keep this one tight, but I think that the Knights have just got that little bit more quality about them, especially in the forwards, just to take the win here. Okay, I think that's going to do it there then. As always, gamble responsibly. Anything you are prepared to stake, you are prepared to lose. Just bear that in mind. Also, a massive thank you to our sponsors again, RCR Nutrition. Check them out. Head over to their website, www.rcr-products.co.uk. Using code CKM to get 20% off your order. Go check them out. Go show them some love as well as they are helping the channel out. As ever, if you did enjoy this, leave a like, subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date. And as ever, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you for the next one.